All right, hello everyone, back at it again. Tstalls and Drizzy here, T&J Sports Podcast. We are going to be hitting on today some Kentucky Louisville basketball and football um, recaps and recruiting updates. So, Tyrone, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Can't say the same about my excitement for, you know, where we're going as the basketball program, but what would we say is our motto for this year?
Positivity 2023.
There we go. Positive. I'm positive that we will get better. We will get better. We
It
will.
just might not be this year, but you will get better. There's
Yeah.
not really much way to get worse.
Honestly, no, no, you can't get much worse than 2-17. So, I mean, you could go two and 2 and 20,
2 and 29, 2 and 29.
29,
Yep.
something like that. Yeah, that's true. So can't get much worse than this. You can only go up from here. And honestly, I think we took the right couple directions today, which today is January 19th for those listening in. Had some big news that I'll talk about, once we get to the Louisville segment. But Jordan, there's a lot of excitement for you Kentucky fans right now on the basketball forefront, at least. Seeing a lot more life in you all in this last matchup you all had. So kick it off and let us know how the Wildcat country's feeling.
Yeah, don't need the twang, the southern twang on the
You don't
wild
want that
country.
southern cats behind that's I thought that was y'all's thing, man.
But yeah, so I mean, it has been the most roller coaster of a season as I can recently remember. Not even, like COVID season when we went like 9 and 16 wasn't even this much of an up and down battle. But I mean, you got to look at it. 8, 9 days ago, we lost to South Carolina at home. That in and of itself, inexcusable, horrible, any which way you look at it, it's just awful. But I'll say we did, we Jacob Toppin was out with an injury. Kasam Wallace played like 10 minutes, out with injury for the rest of the game with back spasms. They showed amazing fight. It just wasn't there. Um, there's a specific lineup on the floor now that produces offense, defense, and it's got to be the lineup that plays 28 to 30 minutes a game. And that's with Kassan Wallace, CJ Frederick, Antonio Reeves, Jacob Toppin, and Oscar Shibwe. The key is to keep those guys out of foul trouble, obviously, but they are the highest rated lineup since like 2019 for offense and defense. I remember seeing it somewhere today. They're like the highest rated this season and dating back to 2019. It's the best starting five production wise. And I think Cal's finally figuring out that those are the guys that have to play. Um, and it's turning. I mean, it's producing results. And we went into Tennessee and we beat Tennessee. Tennessee's had our number for many years since Rick Barnes has showed up. It's
Mm-hmm.
just something with him and Cal. He's got his number, kind of like Cal always had Rick's number. You know,
Uh,
for the
uh,
most, it's not a shot. It's the truth.
no, it's facts. Facts,
It's
yeah.
facts. Um, we're spitting positivity facts. But yeah, so he went in Tennessee and beat Tennessee. I mean, it wasn't, they started out slow. I think it was like they had down like 8-0 or 11-2 or something like that. Honestly, I was like, yeah, this is going about how I was thinking it was going to go. And
Mm-hmm.
they turned it around. They put it on the gas and fought and got it back in there. I really do think that with that lineup, if he's going to continue on with this, and we've seen what works, and we just got to keep rolling with it. Uh, Georgia gave us a good scare this past Tuesday, but still, at the end, we were just too much for them overall, and that lineup produced again. So they're rounding into shape. January is a very pivotal month for us. I think the ESPN predictor has us favored to win every game for the rest of the month.
What?
We going into obviously the Tennessee game, I think we were one of the last four teams in that we or last four teams out.
Mm-hmm.
First four teams out, my bad. One got back in there, one of the last teams in. So we're still on the bubble because I mean our resume is not good at all. but we still have like 6 or 7 quad one wins or games left on
Yeah.
the schedule as of the moment. So I mean,
So you're
do
projected to win the rest of the games this month?
that's what I saw earlier. Versus provide the ESPN FPI whatever index they use.
There's one game in
Even the
particular I'm
Kansas
looking at. Yeah, Kansas.
game, like is I mean I didn't check it, so I need to double check myself. But is that do you have
Oh
that
yeah,
pulled up?
you are. There's a
Does that show over
55%. 55%.
55
Right.
percent?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous, but I'll take it. I mean, so yeah, I mean, we're favored the rest of the way in January. Honestly, you win out in January, man. You slip up to Kansas, that's not going to be a deal breaker. You lose to
Yeah.
Kansas at home, number two, and that's not going to really kill you. But yeah, I think if you really just turn it around here in January, get some good wins, get on a roll, he's got a way at sometimes with some of these teams that blossom late.
Yeah.
2014 blossomed late. Went into the tournament as an 8 seed with Randall and the Twins their first year. Lost to
Mm-hmm.
UConn in the title game. So I mean, it's staying positive. You just got to stay positive that this is all working out in the end for us,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows what he's doing. So
Yeah, that's right. That's our motto, man. Stay positive. So you definitely got to stay positive with the turnaround. I mean, just not taking a shot, but just Cal making the thought of adjusting his lineup and putting in the right people, and kind of being the bad guy and not starting Wheeler anymore. I mean, that's huge for a coach to do, and one, it's huge for a player to accept. I don't know if Wheeler's accepting it or not. I haven't watched the game to see his demeanor or not. But do you think Wheeler will, accept that, and Cal will continue to go with this lineup?
I do. I mean, he's not going to really have much of a choice. I do think there's still a role for him off the bench because he's a very high energy guy, very quick. Not the best on ball defender, but his speed can make up for when he gets blown by. It's just all going to be his mindset moving. Like he didn't start the other night, but he was also coming off injury and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, we'll see how it plays out going forward. Who do we got next? We got Texas A&M on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be Texas A&M just beat Florida. We'll be looking at trying to get all that squared away. So just racking up wins and keep going, and I think we'll be moving in the right direction. Hopefully, it just doesn't tailspin out of control again.
Yeah.
So I know it's hard to stay positive on your side, but what is the positive news that you can think of at the moment? So
Well, positively, I can say it cannot get worse than this. It's only upside at this point. So I've been the fan that's watched every game that have been allowed to watch, with work or whatnot, or TV services, which I can't wait to get out of the Bally Sports contract for the ACC. But positively saying, JJ Trainer had a great game last night against Pittsburgh. He had his career best game, had 14 points, and the guy is just a crazy athlete. I just wish his face and demeanor, and I just wish he could get some, I guess, dog in him. But he played a great game last night
gotta
against.
get that Lance Ware in him.
Yeah, he got. Yeah, just get some kind of emotion. I feel like when he makes a great play, like when he had that alley oop and one dunk where he took it out of the defenders because L threw a lob pass to him, and he pretty much took it out of the defender's hand in the air and dunked it while getting fouled. I mean, you didn't see him smile, you didn't see him scream, you just see him. Okay, walk to the free throw line, shoot free throw, go. Like, I want to see some excitement, man. I just
Like, see, that'll work in football because that reminds me of what you said about Jalen Hurts on our NFL show that's coming out this week as well. How he's a pro.
mm-hmm.
He's not celebrating. After every
Yeah, but that's
touchdown.
because Jalen Hurts has a bigger motive. He has a bigger he knows he wants to earn something
There's a
greater
bigger
than
goal.
he has a goal in mind of not just winning that game. And that's why his mindset was cool. Let's keep going. Let's keep scoring. Let's keep this momentum going. At this point, we got to take every win we get. And I wish I know it's kind of hard to tell a player, hey, this season's over with. Let's just win with a win. I mean, win with the little tiny wins that we get throughout the game, because we're not winning the game, but we're getting tiny wins throughout the game. But, I want to see a guy like JJ Traynor, who didn't get much playing time as a freshman or sophomore, and he's starting to get a little bit more playing time because that's what we have. Like, dude, I enjoy this. And this is me talking to another college athlete. Like, dude, you got to enjoy this, because there's no for sure say that you're going to play professional. There's no for sure that you're going to play, next year for Louisville, because I mean, a lot of these guys probably don't want to come back, or if they do, cool, you may play, you may not play, but dude, enjoy the little moments. And that's how I want to stay positive. I won't even talk about, the bad things that I see throughout the game and just horrible play. But dude, like L. Ellis, I mean, this is your last go around. Enjoy this, dude. You're a leading scorer. You're like the sixth leading scorer in the ACC. Keep balling, keep leading. Like, go down there, get your points. Show some bark. Like last night against Pittsburgh, the guy's name was Nike something, but he went off against us, and I mean, he was barking. He was in our ears. Yeah, it's easy to bark to a team that's 2-17 or 2-16 at that moment, but he showed some art, like some fight in him. Like he didn't even just do it to the players, man. And I won't say it bad towards Kenny Payne, because he can't do nothing. He's the coach. He can do something, but he can't really like go out there and say, "Hey, shut up, kid." But he even said in the press conference, he said, "I like when the other team shows that, because I want my team to my mindset of a coach. If a player does that to me, he's yelling at me as a coach on another team. He's yelling at me. I would want one of my players not to physically harm, like fight or anything, but I want them to show the fight on the court by going down and going, no, I got him one-on-one. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Don't talk to my coach. Back on the other end, DM up, take the ball from him, block him, shut him down, whatever. Don't talk to my coach. Just keep going. Show that fight. Kenny Payne can't do nothing. What are you going to cuss out a kid? He's just smiling like, hey, I like it. He has some fight in him. That's how I want my players to be. And so do I, Kenny. So I relate to you with that aspect of it. I want my players to have that fight too. But, positively, Sydney Curry, you showed great effort against UNC. You went big with Baycott, who's one of the best big men, if not the best big man in the ACC. He played big against him and against that game. Yeah, we lost. It was we lost by a lot, but you showed fight. You showed Sydney Curry from last year. Brandon Huntley Hatfield is out with injury in these last two games, so that's what put JJ Traynor in more of a starter role. He got to start against UNC, and then we had Kamari Lands, who's a freshman. He got the start against Pittsburgh. And yeah, he didn't have a great game, but I seen confidence in his shot. And Kenny Payne kept saying that throughout the year. I need Kamari Lands to play like a sophomore if this team is actually going to be good. His confidence wasn't there. And I'm starting to understand where Kenny Payne was saying, like, this team is just not confident. These players aren't confident at all. And you can't really tell these kids nowadays to be confident when they're losing and when their shot's not going in, because they're used to seeing Steph Curry hitting 30-footers. They're used to seeing LeBron getting dunks. They're used to seeing these highlight moments. And I remember listening to a guy saying we live in a highlight culture where Austin Rivers said it. He said, in my day and age, when I was in school, you used to have to be so good to get a mixtape put out for you. But nowadays, everybody has a mixtape. And all you see is highlight, but you don't see the hustle of of defensive play. You don't see the actual game of basketball being shown on highlight tapes. You don't see that screen that set up the alley-oop dunk. You don't see that hustle on the defensive end. They got you the fast break dunk. You don't see that anymore. And I feel like that's what we got with these players. And now you're paying them to go to school too. I remember I wrote an article about playing college athletes. I didn't think you were going to get, $100,000 a year to play, and let alone play horrible. We're 2-17, but I bet every player on our team has a new car and is getting at least, a couple G's in their pocket. It's just, man, I don't know. Kenny Payne he's doing his best, I guess, and I just hope it will be good enough. And right now, it's not looking good enough. But positively, today, January 19th, we did have some good news. Louisville added a new player to the roster that can actually play this year, and we do need him with Brandon Huntley Hatfield being out with injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but we have another forward/center added to our roster. His name is Emmanuel Okafor. No relations to Emeka Okafor, I'm sure, because it's a different spelling of his last name, if I'm saying it right. But he's 6'9". He's from the NBA Africa Academy, which is kind of like the Mexican NBA Mexico League that we have. It's kind of like that for Africa, and he's part of the top 12 prospects, and he's eligible to play in college basketball. So I think this is huge. I don't know what he will bring to the table. I don't have any highlights to watch this kid, but I mean, it can't hurt. Can't hurt to have him out there. I mean, 6'9". From what I did see on his social media page, he does have a couple. He doesn't look like he has a nice jump shot. He hit a three and a little fadeaway jump shot on his highlights. Again, highlight. Um, but we'll see. We'll see if he actually gets to play next game. Which thankfully I don't have to watch another game until next week on the 25th. Who do we have? We have Boston College, which it shouldn't be a hard matchup, but every game, no matter what, is going to be a hard matchup. Because unlike Kentucky, we are not favored in any game for the rest of the year. We are actually the highest percentage we have winning a game is probably 20%. And I think that is against Boston College. So, I mean, dude, now's your time to go out there and fight. For the young guys that have another year, if you want to stay here, so Kamari Lands, I hope you keep Kamari Lands, keep BHH, keep JJ Trainer. I wish L. Ellis had another year, but keep Fabio Basili, Devin Reed. I hope we keep them players. I mean, those are young guys. I would love to see them play a lot more because that's our future. Mike James. Sorry, I forgot about Mike James, who's been balling. He had ACC Freshman of the Week last week. He's been balling, and I hope we get them back with some more key factors, just like with Emmanuel. I hope we have some more excitement coming. Apparently, we have some stuff in the works with another JUCO player that could be added this week. So hopefully I'll be able to bring some more good news to you all next week on the next podcast. But right now, positively speaking, Kenny Payne, you did the right move by getting another player. Now just guys go out there with some fight. Show like you're having fun at least. I know it's not much fun in losing, but you got a nice dunk and one dunk. Get excited. So what?
Yeah.
We're down by 20. Get excited.
I mean, at this point, from a fan's perspective, if you haven't accepted that this season's over with, and it's just you're just watching because you're a fan and you've been a fan for years, you're always going to watch them no matter how bad they are.
Yeah.
That's on you. You could see pretty early on, and I didn't expect it because I think you can remember even at the I said at the beginning of the year I didn't think it would be this bad. I thought it would. I thought it would be maybe 16 and 15, something right around 500, something like that. But you've said repeatedly a few times that you got to give him a few years. He inherited an absolute shit show,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's job is safe with starting or playing or whatnot. I think he needs to attack with a transfer portal after the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like his job depends on it.
Yeah.
Because you could see the example of Pittsburgh yesterday. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much their whole team is brand new.
Yeah. A lot of
Jeff
transfer coming.
Capel killed the transfer portal, bringing in everybody. So I mean, you can flip. It's really easy to flip your season in college basketball now.
I hope we can have a two-lane flip, two-lane football. Last year went 2-10. This year went 13-0 or 14-0. I want that flip. And
So
yeah, Kenny Payne is going to have to do better recruiting wise. This is the only negative thing I'll have to say. Jeff Brom understood the assignment and went out there and has done his job and earned a paycheck for his first couple months on the job by getting recruits there. Kenny Payne, I haven't seen any recruits. I haven't heard because he doesn't like saying everything to the fans, but you're going to have to change that aspect of the game, my man. You're going to have to start showing us and telling us what you're doing because we're not seeing what you're doing and the results are not speaking for you. So you're going to have to start explaining why we don't have recruits at these games. You're going to have to start explaining why we're not having recruits sign on. You got to start speaking to us a little bit.
yeah, at the beginning, when he took it, and there was still that cloud over what was going to come down. Now that's gone. Maybe you'll see this offseason be a little bit better, more productive.
Yeah.
Um, for hopes. The only negative thing I'll say is just to keep your kid on the bench because honestly, he's awful.
I'm
There's
sorry that
there's
that.
plenty of other guys that deserve to play a hell of a lot more than him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much work he put in Kentucky and how much work he's probably put in this offseason with you. And, you're getting him some playing time. I mean, I know it's garbage games and minutes and whatnot, but at the same time, you need to play the guys that are going to be there next year that
Yeah,
you need to figure more stuff out with
yeah,
or kick them to the curb and get new guys
yeah.
at some point. So, but you
Man.
can't be Mr. Nice Guy all the time.
Yeah, you can, and he's learning that. He's learning that. But
Whereas
let's.
whereas Cal is always bad cop
Mm-hmm.
and he was always the good cop.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, Kenny's still good cop, and I don't see anyone on that bench being a bad cop.
Danny Manning doesn't
Bad
want to
cop
be a
needs to
bad
be
cop.
him.
Nolan Smith has some fire in him, and I love that. I wish I don't know. We haven't seen them be vocal as much. I've seen Danny Manning be vocal a couple times throughout the season. I forgot who we were playing against, but you can see him out there really vocalizing. But the only thing we can tell when we're watching the bench, coach wise, if a coach gets up and he's talking, they had the scouting report. They know what the other team's supposed to be doing. The other coaches are just sitting there. It's because that's what they do. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, guys, listen to that. I need y'all all to start going into these and start learning what's going on. Start scouting all together. Let's start prepping all together so everybody's on the same page. So that way the players can understand, because maybe the players just aren't understanding the message that Kenny Payne, Danny Manning, Nolan, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. I don't even know who he is, but what they're relaying the message. Maybe they're not understanding it. So I hope Kenny Payne. This has definitely got to be a learning year, because he said there's no losses. It's either win or learn, and we are getting a hell of a lecture this season. So I'm hoping Kenny Payne is getting all of his lectures in, and like you said, this offseason hit it hard, because you know who's hitting it hard this offseason? Jeff Brom. And I'll transition into football unless you have anything else to say about basketball. Um, that's my.
No, let's go to football because I mean I don't have much from Kentucky football standpoint. I think we had a pretty much dead weekend going on. Obviously, all of our news of people coming back and OC coming back was last week and whatnot. But I mean, I agree. I'll give you props. Jeff Brom walked in the door and he has brought a hell of a lot of people with him. He
Yeah.
brought a hell of a lot of coaches, and he's bringing a hell of a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of hype going on,
Yeah.
and
And
I
I
think
love
it's
that.
rightfully so because these guys aren't just random kids from JUCO. These
Mm.
guys are studs that went in the transfer portal. I'll let you take over, but yeah, I'm with you that he has earned his salary for this year already.
Yeah. He's earned the salary. He's earned the 2,500% increase in ticket revenue that, season ticket holders have jumped back onto the track, and they're all for next season. I mean, the excitement that he has brought with just coming back here, being a hometown kid. Not just that, like you said, he brought in all these recruits. I mean, from Kevin Coleman to Jack Plummer. He's bringing in not just transfers, he's bringing in high school prospects. Getting TJ. I know he's for not next year, but the year after. But getting a 5-star linebacker committed to us already. I mean, this is huge. And then you bring home little brother, bring home Brian Brom. If you've seen it on our social media, posted a photo. Brian Brom's home too, offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. I mean, who not to learn under, but then one of the greatest quarterbacks in Louisville history. Your head coach was a great quarterback for U of L, and your offensive coordinator, quarterback coach was a great quarterback for Louisville. So these guys know the Louisville tradition. They know the history of Louisville, just like Kenny Payne does, but they understand how to be head coaches, or, strong coaches in their, rightful position, like quarterback or head coach. But Jeff Brom knows what he's doing. And this is where I kind of have a little problem with recruiting methods by Kenny Payne. Jeff Brom is taking our football recruits to basketball games. He's had more recruits go to basketball games than Kenny Payne has had basketball recruits come to anything on campus. Just this past weekend, we had junior day where we had over 50 plus, players come through the facilities, whether it was 2023 guys, 2024 guys, or 2025 guys. These were local area kids and some of the top talent in the country coming here. I mean, this is huge. This is what we needed. And they're in and out of different high schools in the Louisville area. They're at Wagner. They're at Bullitt East. They're at PRP. They're at Manual. They're at Meld. They are making their rounds and letting these coaches know, hey, the last regime, they might have said they are, looking at you guys, but they never came here. That's out the door. I signed my lease yesterday, and I'm at your front door today. So, I mean, they're here to show that they're a part of this community just as more than just saying, yeah, we're looking at the local kids. No, we're here. We're telling you, we're looking at your kids. And I love that. And I mean,
Well, there's no reason not to have a foot in the door at each of those high schools.
yeah, I mean,
Oval's big, but it ain't that big. You could knock, there's what, 16 high schools?
mm-hmm.
A public high schools, not counting the 3 or 4 private high schools. I mean, you could knock those out 2, 3 days.
Yeah, man, it's not
Yourself,
hard to go to
just
a
going
practice.
yourself and going and looking and talking to coaches, putting that effort into it. I mean, shit. Kentucky's plugged a lot of guys away from the city of Louisville that no one even looked at.
I
That
mean,
that
you
you all
get it.
weren't even looking at. You're looking outside. I
Yeah,
mean, Satter's shit was. I mean, honestly, he was. It was the one probably a really awful hire in hindsight, but at the same time, who was going to come in and take over
yeah. Jeff
that what
Jeff could
level?
Jeff couldn't at the time because he made it his obligations to Purdue, and I respect him for that, and I respect him for knowing that this is the time to do it now, and this is the moment. But like you said earlier, 16 to 20 schools, like our staff is full of I don't know how many guys plus GAs. I know GAs aren't probably allowed to do that kind of recruiting stuff, but if you just put a guy in there with a Louisville shirt on that looks like he's on that team, a lot of those kids are going to get excited and hyped during practice or whatever you're there looking at, and just like, dang, Louisville's here. Let me look into Louisville a little bit more. I mean, obviously, I live here in Louisville. When I was in high school, yeah, I'm a Louisville fan, so obviously I knew about Louisville. Um, but just the excitement of thinking there was a Louisville scout in the stands or at a practice for us, like that excitement level was unmatched, and just to bring that excitement level back to the community is huge. So I appreciate everything that they're already doing without even pretty much doing anything. I mean, they're just showing face. That's all you have to do is show face. And I mean, speaking on the Bullitt East, I mean, Mr. Football Kentucky, I mean, he got, I believe, offered a preferred walk on. I mean, like, why would you not want to keep that top talent here? And he's a 2023 guy. I know we have Pierce Clarkson, but you got to have a backup, as we've seen this year. You got to have a backup. You can't just have your star stud and Malik Cunningham or Will Levis and then go to your backup like, oh my gosh, our backup's who? Now we know who our backup will be if he comes here. I mean, the kid won a 6A championship over, beating all these crazy teams. I mean, that's why would you not want him on our team? So
Didn't he beat Mail with the Philly special?
yeah, yeah. And you can see that on Max Press, I'm pretty sure. That's where I seen it just like a couple of days ago. It was on Max Press, had over 800,000 likes. So it's like, man, I don't know. The excitement is there for football. The recruiting excitement's there. And I think the excitement was just overwhelming for Louisville basketball. And I think everybody just wanted to be the Rick Pitino era again. And Kenny Payne probably kind of got, well, I don't know what happened, but hopefully he doesn't do the same thing he did last year, this year. Hopefully he knows, okay, I did it this way last year. Now I got to do it this way and see if it works. Because you get 2 years, my man. 2 years when it comes to college basketball, and you get 3 years to college football as a new coach. 3 years, get your new guys in there, get them, in your system and your program and do good. 2 years for basketball.
Especially nowadays. Especially
Yeah.
nowadays.
So next year, if we're sitting under 500 after Christmas break, all right, who's our next coach going to be? That's going to be my mindset. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you go through another off season like this one, then you're going to be starting the season like how we started the season, with the disdain towards your coach that is going to carry over and over and over until either they're gone or they turn it around. Uh, but obviously, I have more faith in Cal to turn it around in a season, within a season, than
yeah.
Kenny, because Kenny hasn't been that head guy. Um, so I mean, we'll just see. Football running high, basketball running about the same 2 miles an hour that you've been running since it's hard.
2 miles an hour because we have 2 wins. Maybe
You know,
we'll
I didn't even do that on purpose, but it makes so much sense.
yeah. We'll make it make sense. But let's stay positive. We got some excitement with a new player, so let's see what he can do. Hopefully, we hear some good things from Kenny Payne because we have 6 days to get him ready for whatever system we have. Get him implemented into that system, and get him ready to go against Boston College. That's a great first game, I think, to play in because they're not that great. So let's get him in there, see what he can do. Hopefully, we see a little bit more Fabio. Hopefully, we see a little bit more. You know, more excitement around the players. Dude, get excited. Have some fun. It's the last couple games, and then you can go into your next profession or whatever you want to do next. But right now, have fun while you're in college, my man. Have fun. But that's Louisville football, Louisville basketball. That's Kentucky basketball, and what little of Kentucky football news.
Not
It's
much going on.
not much going on, but that's our Louisville, Kentucky notes on for you all for this episode. But anything else you want to add to it?
No. Only other thing I got is just we got still some cool stuff coming up in the works. Be checking out our Instagram, Twitter, and everything.
Hold on. You ain't gonna tell them the big news. I mean, the
I
the
was going to
big.
let you tell the big news. Why don't you tell them the big news?
Oh man, you need a drum roll or whatever. But yeah, all right. We have a new member to the TNJ podcast family. My man had Whitney had the baby. Baby girl.
Added the baby girl last Friday, January the 13th. Friday the 13th, baby,
Ooh.
at 3:24.
And
So
13 is my
mom,
favorite number, so that's
mom and baby doing fantastic.
mm-hmm.
So we're all settled in here and everything like that. So we're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that is the most exciting news of the day, to add in. But still, we've got some other stuff going on, in and around podcast. Check out Instagram, Twitter, trying to get more heavy into the graphics game, get it out there. If you've got any tips, tricks, questions, comments, concerns, let us know. Anything helps out.
Feedback, man. Give us the feedback.
We'll have a new segment going in every week. We're going to do logo trivia, so all the podcasts are going to be visual again.
Mm-hmm.
You can play along with us. If you want, always can hop on. We're looking at more into like a morning newsletter type thing that we were putting out for a little bit. Take it back, break it down, revamp it a little bit. And we're also got some other things that are far off into the future, but just know to keep a lookout for them, and we'll keep you updated.
Yep.
So other than that, again, thanks for coming on, listening. Always nice to have everybody listening in. If you want to jump on, more than welcome to shoot us a message, and whatnot. So with that, Drizzy's going to be out, and thanks everybody.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And we enjoy doing this with you all and keep checking out all of our content. Again, please give us the feedback. We appreciate it always. And check out John Captain Hook's podcast, Cheap Pop Wrestling Podcast. I believe they come out every Thursday. So look for his content. We always repost it as well. But thank you all. Tstalls out.
Drizzy's out. Thank you.